All right, guys. This week we watched Duel on Amazon Prime Video.
Duel
Came out back in January, directed by Riley Stearns,
with Karen.
starring starring Karen Gillian, Aaron Paul, to name the more high character actors. And here's a little synopsis for y'all. So, upon receiving a terminal diagnosis, Sarah opts for a cloning procedure to ease her loss on her friends and family. When she makes a sudden and miraculous recovery, her attempts to decommission her clone fail, leading to a court-mandated duel to the death. Now she has 1 year to train her mind and body for the fight of her life. I will say, I didn't look into this movie very much at all. Like, I didn't read the synopsis or nothing, so it was kind of cool going into the movie not knowing. I like doing that sometimes.
Yep.
Well, that was a lie because you read the synopsis with us before we even decided what movie to watch.
Oh, it's true, but
No, but not this one.
Oh.
This is a different one.
yeah, it was. I don't know.
Like this one, not that I remember, because this one says she made her miraculous recovery, and so the whole movie I thought she was gonna die. I didn't even know she was gonna
Yeah,
recover.
I didn't know that either.
It did say that.
Did it
So-
actually?
Yeah, it did.
I want to.
Well, I
I
don't
want to
remember.
explain it a little more for
That
the
must have
people
zoned out.
that haven't watched it yet. Basically, this is, I guess, it's not necessarily set in the future, but it's set in a world that if you're on your deathbed, or not necessarily on your deathbed, but if you know you're gonna die, say you have cancer or something, stage 4 cancer or whatever, you know you only have a certain amount of time to live, you can create a clone of yourself, and this clone, the longer that you're with it, the more it learns about you and the more it becomes like you.
It's like a sponge.
Right. So by the time you die, this clone is supposed to like just take over your life.
Yeah.
Y'all, I think y'all are gonna say possibly the same thing about this, and I don't know if they did this on purpose. So you have to tell me what y'all thought.
Okay.
But the dialogue, what was with the dialogue?
Oh, thank you.
What-
Fucking thank
Was
you.
it purposeful?
Listen,
How
Anthony-
bad it was?
Anthony, I'm gonna teach.
There has to be.
I'm gonna teach you this
No.
lesson. That was bad writing, bro.
Was there, okay? There's no.
I refuse to be. That was just bad writing. It has to be bad writing, bad directing. Like that just has to be an all-around flop. You can't come up
It
with
was
shit like that.
The only dialogue I didn't think was bad was the clone, because I kind of thought that's kind of what a clone would act
Right.
at first. But then once she progressed, I thought, no, she should be better now.
But the dialogue was so bad. I literally thought that it was supposed to be that way. It was supposed to be bad.
The first thing I said was dialogue is forced and cringe. Every scene with boyfriend is robotic.
Every scene with everyone is robotic. They're all robots.
Oh yeah, I got
they're-
down to
they're
that
all-
as you go down my page and continue it. The spoilers will get to see my descent into chaos from start to finish.
I noticed that the most in the doctor scene, because the doctor was like, "Yeah, life threw you a curveball, but you don't have a bat. You have a
I just,
99% chance."
I had like
of dying."
3 notes on that one scene, and I just like every time I put it, I was like, this movie has to be a spoof.
And then the bad, what you were talking about, like with the bad writing and stuff, which I'm just gonna merge my con with yours, but the bad writing thing, I noticed that first thing whenever she was talking on the phone with her boyfriend in the beginning, like they were having such
Yes.
awkward conversations, like nothing to
Right?
And I was like,
Well,
what?
okay. I think the
I was like,
reason for the
what are you
awkward
talking
conversation
about?
on the phone, at least, was that he was like distracted.
The first one, yes,
the rest-
but it was the whole movie felt that same way. It was like every character didn't care about anything that was going on at all the
Yeah, it was-
entire time.
No, yeah, I agree.
Okay, my con is, man, I got so triggered that we just got like back to back, like Men was beautiful, Top Gun was beautiful cinematography, and then immediately right back to some dull, lifeless, shitty ass cinematography.
The only cinematography I liked was in the forest.
I thought.
Yes,
That's about it.
everything else, like they like muted the colors on purpose. Like there was nothing vibrant. Everything was just grays.
I thought
And
that was part of it though, because she was like kind of depressed. You know, like the whole movie kind of had a depressing tone to it. But
That's
I
fair.
agree.
Yeah.
Well, I get if it's intentional, but it doesn't. It definitely was one of the things that rubs me
there
wrong.
were no outstanding shots. I mean, they were all
Yeah.
mid. I thought the lighting was good though. They were like, I like how they did the lighting, but
I thought there was one good shot, not like outstanding, but it was good.
The best shot was the opening shot whenever the first clone duels, and then after that, nothing else was even close.
I like the way the credits were. I thought that was kind of
I turned them off.
Oh, the credits, bro.
You know what I'm talking about?
That's what
That
we.
was kind of nice.
Yes.
I didn't watch the credits.
All
But
right.
we're gonna go to pros.
Pros.
I thought
Yes.
the story was like, although it was written poorly, it was captivating. Like it was interesting enough to want to keep watching. It hurt, like I said, the dialogue and kind of like the way they wrote the characters, but I thought the whole premise of like the duel was super interesting. You know, like gave me like Hunger Games type vibes. You know what I mean?
You should have seen me watching the intro. I was like, "What is going on? Like, is this the right
I
movie?"
understand. No, I can't say that, but
But I
I
mean,
mean, I
I
thought the
didn't say that.
concept was interesting. I just didn't think they did it great. But
See.
I'm gonna grapple onto you again because I thought the concept was cool too because I mean cloning is something that like you would like see you've seen in movies, but they're saying it's a part of life.
yeah,
Like it's another alternative. Like let's say you don't want ashes, you want another. You don't want to feel like it's to ease your pain, make it better in a different way with a person that is basically the same person. It's not the original, but it's basically the same person. Such an interesting concept to me, and I didn't think they fully fleshed out what they could have done with this movie with that concept. But I did
Ugh,
still it
what a
the concept
double-handed
the,
pros.
the concept still made me think throughout the movie like what could have been done and whatnot. Like this is like actually pretty cool. Like I dig that the concept.
My pro is that it was genuinely the funniest shit that I've seen in a
but
while.
it was funny.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
funny. It was so bad that it made me laugh
That's
fucking
not even
so fucking
pro.
hard
It's not a
90% of the
pro.
time. The shitty dialogue made me laugh, which is what made me able to finish watching it. It made me chuckle.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
It got me
That's
through.
fair.
If the dialogue would have been like normal and the movie was exactly the same, I probably would have fallen
That's
asleep.
fair.
It's such a great pro.
Oh, like yours weren't gray either. The concept was good. The movie was meh. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. Anyways,
You legit.
what y'all recommend?
Never mind.
Um, I mean, if you don't have anything else to watch, yes, but don't go out of your way.
I agree.
There's a billion better things for
Yeah.
you to watch. 0 out of 3 hooligans would recommend. Diving into the spoilers. If you guys haven't seen this movie, we don't recommend you watch it, so just keep watching to the next part. You're not going to miss anything. All right, you boys. Y'all want to start off with your
Um.
cons?
Okay. Yeah, I want to go kind of more in depth with the bad writing thing. There was no. You felt absolutely no connection to the characters. Like they did not write that.
Is this is it, is this steal my shit day, Anthony? You've stolen every single thing I was gonna say.
There's only so much you can
Okay,
say, though.
here's one scene that's a great example. Is she walks in to her mom's house and the clone was already there, and both the boyfriend and the
Thank you.
mom were like, "Oh yeah, we don't want you anymore." And then the boyfriend is like, "Yeah, I don't care if I can't be with the clone. I still don't even want to be with you." And like that didn't phase them.
Shit came out of
Because
nowhere.
The thing was, everyone said it so
yeah,
monotone. Like literally, there was no like expression in anyone's
right.
voice. Like they were just like, "I don't want to be
Okay,
with you."
I think the
Bye.
biggest reason because of that is the pacing. The pacing did not tell you the
right,
timeline, bro.
right. Okay, and then so the same scene, somehow the mom knew there was a clone, but everybody knows if there's a clone, that means someone's dying. But the mom didn't know she was dying. And when she did find out, she was like,
Right?
"You're dying? What?
Like,
Cool.
wait,
What?"
this is a clone?
Yeah. And then oh, what was I gonna say? I was talking about the same.
That's crazy because, like, imagine like if like you were to walk in, and like I were to walk in your house and be chilling with you, but then we sit down to record and you see me on camera over here. Would you react being like, "How are there two of you?" Or would you be like
Right.
freaking the fuck out? Like that just made no
And okay,
sense.
the other thing, no one showed emotion. No one cried about anything. Like she's literally dying. You know? Like no one cared. So
Well, that it's because the clone is gonna basically be carry out the life as
Yes,
if they
so.
didn't what do you call it?
And then just a quick question, and then we'll move on to y'all's pros. I thought they were supposed to be exactly the same. Why was she different?
They say it. They say that there was an issue with her
But I thought it
model
was,
and like her eye. Well, it said just her eyes, but I assumed like that glitch
It
was
was
like
just your eyes.
like it was only visually her eyes, but throughout the rest of the movie, it just became like little things that were
It
different.
was very apparent from that
And the
moment
blue
that
eyes was
she was
just
gonna go AWOL.
yeah, and like the blue eyes were just like the only visual thing.
Okay, I
But
had an error, and this not flip, this like
a error.
an error with, or at least the way that the director wanted it portrayed throughout the movie, because it just made it confusing. Was so the original's hairstyle was in a ponytail, and the clones was just like it's just down. You know what I mean? It's just
maybe
long and
it
it's
was like
down.
Mhm.
And
thinking.
so no. And so like I said, with the pacing of the timeline and stuff, it's showing the original with the ponytail training with Aaron Paul's character Trent, like training and doing all this stuff. And every time it shows her, she has a ponytail, and then it would go and show the same girl, which I assumed was the clone, with her hair down, but it turns out that was the original. And I'm like, why didn't you just keep the clone with her hair down, the original with her hair up, so that by the end of the movie, because I thought it was showing back and forth what each person was doing, but at the end, it's
Mhm.
just it followed the original the whole time, and I was like, well, that's confusing as shit, because I thought you were trying to go make them both a little
I will
distinct for the audience.
That's weird because I never for a second thought that it was the clone there. I thought it was the original
I
the whole
did think
time.
it was the original, but it took a lot out of me to figure out who was the clone in certain scenes. Like I couldn't. I was like, who the heck is who?
They
Well, like for one, it's the when she was training, she had a ponytail. When she was at home, she had a ponytail, except for like one night. But like it would go back and forth. So like it would show her shop. It would go to just training with her ponytail, and then it would show her at a store shopping with her hair down. And so I was like, oh, is that the clone? And then it would
uh,
show the one with her hair down, like in the dance class, and I'd be like, oh, is that the clone?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
is it
yeah.
showing what she's doing?
it appears you were spoiled by good writing and directing to to think that you could inference some kind of visual distinction for the viewer.
That's funny.
Which I
Let
thought.
me see
Well,
who
am I
directed
am I
this.
crazy for thinking that would have made more sense?
Well, I mean, that's most
Yes,
people
and
do it. I feel like I mean, sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. But they could have done at least something different. Like they didn't give.
Riley
I don't
Stearns did The Art of Self Defense, which is also a pretty mid movie.
know.
Faults, never heard of it. The Cup, never heard of it. Maybe there's a reason I haven't heard of any of these dude's
What were your
movies.
comments, Edward?
No, what were you saying about it though?
Me?
Uh, uh,
No, about the
who?
whole
What?
thing. I just thought it would have been a lot cooler if it showed what the clone was doing while the original was doing it.
I said that you would expect that from competent storyteller slash director to give at least some kind of like visual hint to
Besides
help
blue
the
eyes, because you
viewer a
can't
little.
see that.
Oh, okay. I thought for
Plus, she was wearing contacts the whole time to make her eyes brown, so there's literally no way to tell.
I thought for a second you were calling me stupid, and I was like, why is that stupid?
No, I'm calling the director
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah.
Um. All right, so I'm gonna go down the list of cons that I had, like scene by scene through the movie. It's not like a long scene by scene, but it's like every scene that jumped out at me, I would write like a quick
Okay.
little thing. Right, so the first note, dialogue forced and cringed. Example, every scene with boyfriend is super robotic.
Yes.
Margin of error scene with the doctor, where the doctor's like, well, it's well, I'm 100% certain you're gonna die, but it's 98% because of margin of error, but I'm
Yeah,
100% sure
that
you're
was
gonna
dumb.
die. That was literally like I heard it and I just started laughing because I had like replayed it like 3 times to make sure she said what I thought she said. I was like, oh my god, whoever fucking wrote this scene is a comedic genius.
It's stuff like that made the dialogue like super dragged out too.
And then the curveball speech right after that, like right after that, she went into the curveball speech, and dude, when I was
Yeah.
fucking chuckling like a hyena in here, just giggling
And
because
it,
I thought that shit was the funniest
and
thing.
then later she was like, "Oh, actually, you're in remission."
Yeah, I was
And then,
frustrated at that. I'm like, dude.
That whole speech for nothing.
Yeah.
all right, and then whenever they were showing like the video of how the cloning worked, I thought that I put suicide jack off joke. I really thought this was going to be a serious movie
dude.
because it went from him sending the guy into into the his clone into the bathroom with the magazine to beat his meat. And the very like not even a millisecond later is a dude who hung himself from the stairs, and the clone just comes down, just straight face looks at it, and is
You know
like,
what's worse
mm.
about that too?
I do think some scenes were intended to be comedic though.
You know what's worse about
But
that too, though, is the parents came in and hugged the clone, like, and that was like, while their
Right?
dead son was just
Didn't
there.
flinch.
It's like, oh, it's okay,
Right?
we have a clone, we're good.
That shit made me like burst out laughing. Like I'm telling you, like right when I saw that scene, I was like, "Oh, this is a spoof." I thought this was like a for real movie. Didn't happen. Next thing I put: every scene of dialogue is either cringy or so bad it's the funniest shit on the planet. Get personal combat training from a personal combat trainer, and we should discuss my rates. This body was once a person, but now it's just a body. Whenever they were showing, like, took her to the morgue to look at like dead bitch for some reason.
it was so she can see the heat of battle.
Yep.
What it does
Yeah.
to a person.
Yeah, and like the quote I put, I thought it was funny. This body was once a person, but now it's just a body. That shit made me laugh. I thought there's more examples of cringy dialogue. Then I had this to say about their training scene at the end is literally playing pretend, bro. What the fuck? I hate this movie with
I
every
didn't like
fiber of my
that
being.
when they were like, oh,
Oh, I dropped my knife. Oh, the sword hit me. Oh, I took the ropes. Dude,
that was I did
right?
not like that. I thought that was
Oh,
actually.
that shot punctured my liver. Now that's fatal. But I'm gonna take
Yeah.
you down with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was bad.
There's a reason he's like the low budget guy, like the low budget in the paper ad.
Oh yeah.
He's the one with the lowest pay.
The conversation with her and her boyfriend infuriates me. He's a literal piece of shit, and she's a doormat. I want all of them to die.
Yeah.
Which yeah,
That was whenever they met up for lunch or whatever, and she was like, "I just want you to know that if I die, you don't think I died hating you." And he was like, "Oh, cool, thanks."
yeah.
She was like, "But just so you know, I'm gonna kill that bitch with every fiber of my being." He's like,
I didn't
"Okay."
I didn't care for any of the characters, which is bad on the film's part. But the only thing I felt bad about was thinking about the concept. I'm like, imagine you get a clone, bro, and your parents are like, I actually like the clone better. Like, just kill yourself.
Right?
Like, dude,
And
that's
she had like she didn't have the same imperfections either. Like imagine you
Yeah.
And then
yeah,
and she had like better skin.
yeah.
and then the next thing I said is this dance scene. What the fuck? And then I proceeded to skip through the entire dance scene where she was teaching him how to
do hip hop.
street dance. Yeah. Yeah, I literally skipped that entire scene because I was like, bro, what the fuck is this? And I was so pissed off. I was like, this is a waste of time, and I skipped it.
It's one of those things where he thought it was funny. That's why the director.
And then I put disappointed in your killer instincts, but I'm glad my dog is still alive. ... What the fuck, Sarah? And then in all caps, why is there always a dead animal in these shitty movies? Fuck.
Dude, what's crazy is that scene was like, what if he did kill him? Like, what are you gonna do? He's like,
Right?
oh, thanks for not killing my dog. Like, what if she killed him?
What was the
Like literally looks
I don't,
to see if she was ready
he
to
wasn't
kill.
sick, was he?
No.
but even then he's like, oh, just kill my dog. Like, it's
Yeah,
fine.
that was weird.
Like disappointed your killer instincts didn't work, but
Peter didn't like
I'm
this
glad
movie.
my dog is still alive.
Are there
And then I put hashtag me too whenever they went to like that AA meeting and she like convinces, like the clone convinces her to like run away because they're like, we're just victims of the system, man. And then I put more cringe dialogue quote, our breasts are amazing, but let's not fuck each other like the guy in there clearly was doing.
See, I think that's another instance where like the director's trying to be comedic.
Flopped.
do you have like
And then I put, I'm almost done. Let's
Yeah,
take
homie, we
another
said one
bigger
call.
drink.
I was like
I put, let's take another bigger drink, man. That dialogue where it's like clearly
That was so subtle, yeah.
she was like, let's drink the Kool-Aid just in case.
And then she looked
Wink,
at
wink,
her
wink,
and
wink.
she's taking a little sip. The other girl's like, Gulping it down.
gulping it down. And then I put the ending makes the literal last 45 minutes of the movie totally useless and pointless. Movie is a waste of time, meaningless, dull, and uninspired. This was a badass concept. The description had me hooked. The movie itself is dog shit.
Nice. Speaking of the
The
ending,
end.
I well, okay, I'm gonna go into my pros real quick. And it's gonna be
Yeah,
like
let's do that
half
one with
pro,
the
half
ending.
half con. But like I said in the spoiler free, I thought this concept was really, really cool. The whole thing with like the actual duel, it was leading up to it. I was extremely excited to see them fight in this like Hunger Games type style. And then I got let down that we didn't get to see it.
Yeah, me too. Because all the build up for
Yeah.
it, and there was
Like I
nothing.
think
Literally
one of the
nothing.
coolest parts of the movie was the first 5 minutes when we saw a duel. You know what I mean?
I did
I
too.
was kind of concerned by the first 5 minutes because I was like, oh shit, if this is a duel. Because the first like duel, it was cool. Like the cinematography was cool, but like the duel itself, I was like, this is kind of dumb. I don't like
I
this.
think it's trash that it was in an open field, like no cover, nothing.
Right? I thought it was dumb how the dude was like, oh, 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 and that was a whole duel.
I know.
Yeah.
And then
I
homie ran 90 yards in
I
a straight
disagree
line.
because I thought that was really interesting, and I actually would have really enjoyed the movie if it was more about that kind of duel. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it would have been a lot more enjoyable.
Oh, I agree. It would have been
I
enjoyable if it
really
was
enjoyed
about the
that
duel.
scene. So
But I agree. I thought the movie would be better if they had more duels, but I feel like the one duel we got itself could have been
yeah,
better as well.
but yeah. So my pro is just like they they
Good
did a
job.
good job hooking you in. They just didn't
Hmm.
deliver
That is a
on
true point.
yeah, on
Anything
anything
that they
really.
promised. They did a good job of reeling us in. I
Yeah.
will say that they did do a good job of that.
Noah, what are you thinking over there?
Oh, okay. I didn't know. If, I didn't know if you're done. Um, what's it called? I think it's crazy how the clones like can have their own thought. Like they may not like their life that they're about to live, but they have to live it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
Like they
crazy.
can exist on their own, but they can't. Like they're not allowed to.
I thought that they weren't supposed to be able to do that and that hers was just
No, because
defective.
that's why it's in the Constitution that any clone can be like, yeah, I want to live. That means they
Well, no,
all
but they even said it's like super rare case though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I'm guessing that like the only time that that happens is with those
I guess so.
malfunctions.
yeah, I also liked. I actually did like that the meeting with all other survivors, kind of regretting their decision or regretting killing the other person after the duel,
Right.
because I like the concept of why can't we both live? Like they had to live with the
Yeah.
regret of killing someone else or like the other person.
Right? And they teased it. But then they're like, no, we're just gonna poison this bitch.
Yeah, it was a lot of teasing in the movie. And contrary to popular belief, I actually kind of liked the only like dialogue I liked was between Sarah and her clone. I just kind of liked the conversations that they shared. I wish they expanded upon them
Yeah, I
because
agree.
I'd want to know what conversations I'd have with my clone. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
I
go
got
ahead.
no pros.
Um. Oh, already. I guess I already said my pros. Is there anything I want to say?
Oh, you want to talk about the ending?
Oh yeah, let's talk about the ending. Do y'all think that was the clone?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
originally I was like, yeah, it's the clone pretending to be the original. But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, it's possible that the writing was just so bad that it truly was the original.
No.
No, because they heavily hinted with the broken car, the clone can't drive, and the mom said, "Oh, here are your contacts," which is so messed up because that means the
That means
boyfriend
they
and the
were
mom
in on
knew.
it.
Yeah, they knew the whole
Especially
time.
with the testimony at the end.
It was sad.
Dang. Oh, you're right.
Plus, I 100%
The
believe
boyfriend and mom wanted the new one.
she was poisoned. That's why they told her to take a bigger drink of the water bottle.
Oh yeah, the only other thing I'd have to complain about is I hate long-winded scenes like the one where she was running from the forest onto the field because it was
Thank
just
you.
her running the whole time. I don't like scenes like that.
Those are walking.
Or yeah, walk running, whatever.
Yeah.
So what happened to the car though? I was
She
confused about
crashed it because the clone can't drive. Remember?
Yeah, she said she can't drive. It's just the only thing she didn't learn how to do.
that. That makes sense.
So she
Dang.
crashed it so many times.
And that's why she was limping whenever she got there.
You know what though? Um, the very first scene, the original one, the old man and the counseling thing was the clone, and now the clone survived this one too. There were
The
no
clone
original.
always wins.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Um,
That's kind of
all
interesting.
right. Slide into our ratings.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I need to look at other ones. What did I give
Other
Firestarter?
You gave that.
You can't tell me you like this one as much as
I think
Firestarter.
I think you gave that. Oh, you gave it a 5.
I gave Firestarter 5. Okay. Come back to me and think about this.
Wait. Yeah, you gave it a 5.
Okay. What did I give Firestarter?
0.
Oh,
This one's getting a 0.
Okay.
I want to give this one like a -1, but I'll stick with the 0.
Noah.
6.
A 6? What
That's
the
6.
fuck?
Wow.
Easy 6.
Okay, can you
That was not an easy 6, bro.
Can I what?
explain that? Like, I want to know why you gave it a 6.
You can't say because of the concept.
I would have given it was way lower score if it was just the first half. I really like the second half of the movie, and I really like the concept of the movie.
The second half was a complete waste of time, though.
Yes, but I like how it
Everything
explored,
they
it
said-
explored the interactions between the two, and
But
the clone knew she couldn't win because that's why she was spying on her. She was like, "Shit, she's training, and I'm not. I'm fucked." And so she played mind games with her.
Well, I don't know. Literally, the second half of the movie was a waste to me because the whole movie was meaningless because the clone ended up killing the bitch anyways. So the whole movie was literally meaningless. There was no point in the movie start to finish.
A world where clones live, but live to regret their decisions.
But
I like that.
okay, but that was not what this movie was.
It's not, but I'm saying I like that concept.
Okay, well, you can't give it a 6 because the concept was good. You
I
got
can
to
give it whatever
rate it
I
on
want,
its
Edward.
execution, bro.
I can give it whatever I want.
I feel like concept weighs extremely heavily compared to some other things.
Well, the execution of the concept should be the first thing overall.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a lot more they could have done better. That's why it's a 6,
So
not higher.
6 is still low compared to what Noah rates sometimes too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm torn because I enjoyed this a lot more than Firestarter, like
Then give it a high score.
because of the concept. But it's hard for me to get over the writing and the bad dialogue. I feel like that's the biggest thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think I'll give it a 5.5.
Okay.
Damn. Y'all on crack. It's a 3.8 from us. Average.
And that's really because Edward.
Yeah.
Edward average.
Don't say it was because of me. It's only that high because of y'all.
surprised.
I stand by mine as being like the only correct. I refuse to believe there's any like redeeming qualities of this movie.
Thing. All right.
All right. Well, on that note, if you guys enjoyed this bashing from me, well, really, we all bashed it. They just bashed it less than I did. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to stick around for more. Check out our other reviews if you enjoyed this one. We stick pretty close to style. I promise I don't hate every movie I come across. You've just been getting some real stinkers lately. And make sure you check out our merch, link down below, alongside all of our social media so you can be notified when we upload, when we do some other cool stuff for y'all. That note, say hi to your mom for us.